Kallari is one of my favorite heroes, probably my second favorite hero after Muriel. She is a hot topic of debate because she isn't very viable in today's meta. That said, this build here and guide is meant to kind of combat that. What can we do with Kallari to make her more meta? Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a hero building guide. I am Sylphin. So, Kallari is the ultimate assassin. She goes into stealth, she has a good amount of basic attack damage to then come out of the shadows and assassinate her targets. She's the ultimate assassin. She can be played in a number of lanes in the early game. She can be in the jungle with a Sylphin to get that health back when you're doing this stuff here, or in the off lane like you're seeing me play here. I like the off lane personally. I like the jungle too. I think off lane though works really well for her. Some people have even played her as a support in the safe lane. With the stealth, you can play mind games with your offlaner. They don't know whether to engage, they don't know where you are. You just play ultimate mind games with them. Harass them, get out of there, be a very aggressive support. That is an option, just letting you know. Here in the offlane though, we go with a health potion and a healer token and try to play it safe. The very first ability that I get is the dagger while I'm taking out those two white camps in the off lane jungle. That just gives you hero experience and CP that is very important for Kallari. Now, the next ability I get is her stealth, just because if I need to go into stealth to kind of mitigate any of this damage, we can do it. But let's talk first about her dagger. You can see I have it ready to go here. She gives a little visual cue, and I tried to get that last hit. Her dagger does a pretty good amount of damage. 0.6 power scaling, which is pretty darn good, and anywhere from 60 to 120 damage. It's okay, but there's a slow effect. 400 slow to 580 slow there at the max level. That's very important. You can slow somebody down to help get into a closer range. Now, you can use it to animation cancel your basic attack, meaning that you can use it to increase your damage in a short period of time. The thing you have to know about the dagger is it's very precise. You have to aim it perfectly, or else you're gonna literally go through heroes' armpits. You're gonna go beside their, like, brush their face, but not like, you have to be exact with that damn dagger. I'm not sure why the hitbox on it must be very small. Something about it just feels a little off to me, but you just gotta be precise with it. Her stealth, obviously, is very important. Shadow Walk. What happens is it actually buffs your basic attack by 250% of the basic of the damage you deal. So that first hit out of stealth deals 250% more damage. It's crazy. So that's a good burst damage as you're coming out of stealth. What also happens though is from level 1, you're only in stealth for 8 seconds, whereas level 4, you're in stealth for 23 seconds. Obviously, upgrading that provides you the opportunity to remain in stealth for longer, really play mind games with the enemy, as the cooldown is only 15 seconds long. So in the early game, you really have to be careful with using it, depending on that stealth, because sometimes you'll get out of stealth and not be able to go back into it. The last ability we get is her right click. It's backflip. What she can do is basically double jump in the air to get out of things. Unfortunately, her backflip used to actually propel her in a direction faster than walking, but that is no longer. So you can't use your backflip to traverse distances. All it's used for is to get out of sticky situations, vertically speaking. So you can dodge abilities with it, you can go over decker fences, you can get on top of ledges here, stuff like that. That's really only what it's used for. what it's also used for is to help mitigate that slight delay between when you use your stealth and when you actually go into stealth. There's a small delay, so you hit your stealth, and then you double jump with your backflip, so that in midair you go into stealth, and really messes up the enemy as they're like, oh shoot, which way is she going? I don't know. Where does she land? Stuff like that. Definitely use your backflip in that fashion. Now here in the off lane, you have to use your dagger very, very well. You can see here it has a crazy range, something like 3,000 unit range. It's fantastic. So as you can see there, I'm trying to get the last hits with the dagger, which is why I've upgraded it here to level 2. Instead of 60 damage, it's doing 80, a little bit more, just to help with those last hits. So I can still actually be relatively on par with the enemy carry in terms of last hits. As long as you are using your dagger all the time to get those last hits, you can actually get away with it. Here, I choose at this point to come in on this Twin Blast, but I'm like, oh, nope. There's actually, this Narbash is kind of out of position. The Narbash, or the Sever, lands the root, and we get the kill. That damage out of stealth, that 250% damage bonus to your first basic attack while out of stealth is monstrous. Very, very powerful. So, you're in lane, you're getting the last hits with your dagger, staying safe, and really doing a good job. You can see here I got a second healer token so that I could really be in this lane and stay on the battlefield and stay relevant. Kallari needs card power. She needs it. In order to stay relevant, she absolutely needs it. So that's why we're getting the healer token to stay in lane and get card power. Now that we have a bit of damage, you can do stuff like this. Come in and look at that damage here on this Narbash. Completely taken from 50 to 0, just like that. Very, very nice. You can definitely do that, but you're still very squishy, so be very, very careful. Now, Kallari's ultimate is something that we have to talk about, because there's many different things to it. What you do is, when you use the ability, you grant vision to all enemy heroes. And there you actually see me use it. You grant vision on all enemy heroes. Then you lock on to a target of your choice, and when you press the button, there's a short delay between when you charge up and then you teleport to your enemy, dealing basic attack damage. The damage is the damage here is 150 at level 1 to 300 at level 3 with a 0.4 power scaling. So it does a basic attack's worth, a little bit more actually, a worth of damage, which is pretty, it's okay. It definitely helps. Now, obviously that's a global ultimate. So with her ultimate alone, you can change the way you play Kallari and have an effect with the enemy team. You'll see later on examples of me split pushing in the left lane here, way away from my friendly team, but I have my ultimate to immediately join them in an engagement. So what you can do is pull people away to deal with you pushing towers, while all of a sudden teleporting over and creating a numbers advantage just through your ultimate alone. Here's me doing my thing as an assassin. The Decker here was trying to get me to go in there, make a play happen, but that's not what Kallari is. She's not a frontline hero that can bruise it out with an enemy hero, as the Decker was just being aggressive, and I'm like, I can't go in there and frontline. You know, I can't. I'm the kind of a cleanup hero, a pull an enemy away, create advantage kind of hero. I'm not that, so I had to do that. Unfortunately, she died, but we got the kill on the Twin Blast, which is a great trade. The enemy carry for your support, great trade. But I can't go in and be a frontline hero. Now, as you can see here, we got our ward with a whole bunch of power, which is absolutely fantastic. And then going into a Windcarver Blade with all power. The power here is what I care about. I'm trying to do as much damage in as short a period of time as possible. We're only going to get a few basic attacks off on the enemy before they turn around and say, there's a juicy Kallari, and then I have to peace out. So, we're going to offload all of our damage, all of our DPS onto power, so that those first few hits and the dagger and our ultimate will hit like a truck. Here's an example of me doing Kallari well. I am defending a lane here with our Thunder Cleaver, which is fantastic on Kallari. It gives her 50% cleave to all enemy heroes in front of her, in making that high damage basic attack fantastic. Now, the next card that we use is our Scourging Tails. Now, what Scourging Tails does is for 15 seconds, your next ability hit on an enemy hero will shred 20 basic armor for 6 seconds, plus a CP's worth of power. So, I used Scourging Tails there before I used my ultimate. What then happens is I used my ultimate, which gave vision on all enemies. That counts as an ability hit, meaning that Scourging Tails is applied to the entire enemy team, no matter where they are, as soon as I use my ultimate. So, when I'm split pushing away, I hopefully have taken an enemy away to deal with me. I use Scourging Tails, use my ultimate to go in on the enemy team that is, you know, that's engaged with the rest of my team, and now I've made it a 5v4. They all have basic armor shredded from all of them for 6 seconds, and I'm a part of the engagement. Amazing. Also, we have Thunder Cleaver, which instantly deal basic attack damage as basic damage to nearby enemy units. Every 20 seconds, I can come out of the shadows with my first empowered basic attack into another basic attack, into a Thunder Cleaver, into our dagger, into another basic attack, and dealt a crap ton of damage just like that. Love it, love it, love it. You just go into stealth and do it again on high value targets. Another astronomically amazing thing about Thunder Cleaver is while you're in stealth, you can use Thunder Cleaver to apply that damage to everything around you, but not go out of stealth. So, since you can see wards while you are stealthed, all what you have to do is walk up to a ward, use Thunder Cleaver, that applies the damage to the ward, making it visible for you to then a basic attack and destroy. You can basically clear wards super easily, and you don't even have to put down your own ward to detect it. Of course, you still need wards to be a sentry, to watch areas, to protect you from ganks, and just get vision on the map and intelligence, and so you can win the game. But the Thunder Cleaver, super easy way of clearing out wards. Here is a wee bit of the potential of the burst. Check how fast we burst down this Bellica. The damage is real. Again, high priority targets are your priority, like this Twin Blast. Basic attack into our dagger. Well, I missed there. Into a Thunder Cleaver. Kaboom. Melted. Fantastic. Once you have this power here with the 2 Wing Carver blades on your ward, the Scourging Tails, and that Thunder Cleaver for that active, stuff gets real. Now, the next couple cards I get in this game they're pretty awesome. Thirst Fang for a little bit of lifesteal, just so that you can go back into lane or into the jungle and regenerate your health. Really, the power is what we want, but also Trader's Touch. Basic attacks on players deal 3% of their current health as additional basic damage with a little bit of lifesteal. Again, going to help our sustained, but also mana regen, which will help us use more abilities. Now, go check out my math video on Trader's Touch. It is absolutely 110%, completely, entirely worth it on all heroes at 100% health. So, you can attack a target at full health, completely take half to 3/4 of their health off just like that, like we do with this Morigesh. In just a moment here, watch this. It's absolutely insane. 110% worth it. Look at that. She's almost dead. Just like that. Just from stepping out of her tower a few feet, that happens. But Trader's Touch also pays for itself, so is just as good as power on most targets, even at half health. On casters and rangers below half health, not really, but it still has good value. It is monstrous. Extracting even more value out of those first basic attacks on a target is monstrous. You can see here, I go in on the Twin Blast and take him out. I should not have backflipped to get out of that tower, as that was an old habit from Legacy. Backflipping does not help you get away from things. It just helps you get up from things, if you know what I mean. Now, I promise this is the last example of the power of Kallari to draw people away from engagements. I promise. It is the last example in this game, period, but last example that I'll show you here. Watch as I force this Twin Blast out, get some damage up, and then go into stealth. He's totally freaked out, as you can see. He can't get past his towers, so I've zoned him away, pulled him away from the engagement that's happening with my allies on this side. We have our carry and they don't. So that is the power of Kallari. She can do stuff like that. She can basically win team fights for her team, and she doesn't even need to be there. And she can instantly teleport to be there if needed. Isn't that insane? Just the power. Same with Muriel. Not Muriel so much. You can't really push a lane too hard, but the power is real, guys. It's astronomical what you can do with Kallari. So, ladies and gentlemen, the other cards here that you didn't see, that I couldn't get in that match, is here. So before we get into that, the Archmagus is what we want because we're trying to be bursty, as much power as possible, so that those few hits we do get in deal as much damage as possible. Crit is absolutely fantastic on Kallari. If you're going to go a lot of CP into damage, it is. That is what deals the most damage with the basic attack, but this is just a different build that still works. So this Archmagus is there for that tons of power. At the end of that game, you did see me get this Windcarver Blade, but what else is there? The Sage's Ward that replaces your early Sage's Ward for a whole bunch of power, and a whole bunch of power on the Scourging Tails that I didn't upgrade because I want the fully upgraded bonus on this Windcarver Blade and the fully upgraded bonus on this Sage's Ward. That is why. So the final build here, guys, is pretty insane. Trader's Touch, Thunder Cleaver, Thirst Fang, Windcarver Blade, Scourging Tails, and Sage's Ward. Fantastic. I love Kallari. If your team can really kind of coordinate, getting a good foursome going that kind of roams around, doing great things, and you can just keep on pushing a lane hard so that you're always drawing away people from engagements, it works really well. The Scourging Tails, the Trader's Touch, just delete people's health. On a tank, it's dumb. Trader's Touch against a tank is absolutely dumb. It deals so much damage. It's dumb. It's unbelievable. So there you guys go. That is the build. Please let me know down in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, what you think of this build. What you think of Kallari. Is she viable? Do you think this deck helps her viability, trying to cram as much damage as possible in a short period of time with such a short time to kill in Monolith? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, and of course, guys, subscribe. You guys like this content, found it useful especially, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.